You're now watching Down Under Derby TV. Hey there, you're watching Down Under Derby TV.
Hello.
Welcome back to Down Under Derby TV, where you are about to watch the Central Coast Roller Derby United Valkyries versus Brisbane City Rollers Punk Blockers. You have with you today Blocked a Pussy back on the mic and joined by...
This is Copter.
And so it's about 2.5 minutes to Derby now. So we see both teams taking the 2 minutes to rest, which is good. Both in their second game of the day today, so reasonably fresh.
Oh, freshish.
Freshish. With, of course, CCRDU taking on Varsity Roller Derby League's Dishonour Rollers this morning. And Brisbane's BCR's Punk Blockers were taking on Northside Rollers Death Stars. Let's just take a moment to run through the rosters. So for the Valkyries, we've got 0 Jugs, 04 Mrs. F, 10 Helvetica Bold, 1111 Copper Floggin, 18 Rat Bag, 202 Hannibal Dector, 3039 Bamphibian, 321 Feral Streep, 326 Howlin' Knight, 4 Shazam, 519 Makita, 525 Posh Deckham, 6 Mini Mayhem, 88 Betty Boom, and on the bench we have Hands Off Her Back and Suggestive.
So yeah, solid lineup there from the Central Coast Valkyries, and representing the Punk Blockers today we've got 05 Hooker, or Dado as her teammates will call her, 102 Regulator, 11 Fang Fiend, 115 Nick Rophilia, 14 Thunderpuss, 18 Horrorlulu, 22 Duchess of Hazard, 313 is Kimbo Kazi, 40 is Unforgiving Bunny, 455 Rocket Mam, 52 The Claire Bitch Project, 703 is Slasher Heart Scare Bear, 72 Vixen, and 99 is Mo Money.
98 or 99?
Look, it says 98 on the screen. I'm looking at her jersey as she lines up today. It says 99, so we'll go with 99 for Mo Money. Either way, she's a blocker you want to take seriously, regardless of her number.
Noted. And of course, thanks very much to our officials today, who are many of them probably actually on their 5th game.
Absolutely. We've got a lot of officials doing double shifts this weekend, and good on them for doing so.
So just a few moments till we get things underway. And of course, our sponsors today, Roller Derby Heaven from Morisset, who have a stall here today as well, if you want to come and check out some stuff or if you've forgotten anything. And Off Your Tree. And of course, hosted by Central Coast Derby, Roller Derby United, home ground advantage here in Gosford.
Alrighty, so the first jam is about to start, and it looks like we've got Rocket Mam versus Copper Flogging on the jammer line. I think we'll see this match up a lot, Puss Puss.
Most likely. And Copper Flogging pushed to the outside, takes the inside lane as well. A couple to beat. Well, she's actually been sent for a back block very early.
Right.
Now, one to beat for Rocket Man.
And look, those legs, she can get through. Once they're scattered, she's going to get through.
They are good long legs. I wish I had long legs. Oh. Making pretty light work of CCRDU blockers there. So as they just reset themselves, regather, and a nice triangle and one set up there.
Oh, Unforgiving Bunny there with the offense straight through and some fancy
She
footwork.
didn't
That's another
muck about.
5 points.
She did not muck about. And we have Copper Floggin rejoining. The penny is off as well.
So Unforgiving Bunny there knocking Mrs. F off the inside line for a simple 5-point pass there for Rocket Man. And it looks like Copper's going back to the bin.
Oh, it's not a good start for Copper Floggin.
No. You certainly don't want to give up 2 of your 7 penalties in the first jam.
No. Punk Blockers putting quite a few points away already here in this first jam. I'd say she's picked up all of the points from this pass anyway. She certainly has now.
But look, mad props there for Central Coast, for BCR then. Saw, and Rocket Man is going back to the bin. Really like the way that BCR then, their jammer got hit out and they just went all over that blocker, hit her out. Stopped the recycle. Great move.
And we have Copper Floggin rejoining with the game now. The penny's still off. And that'll be CCRDU starting with a power jam as well, with Rocket Man still in the box. And she's still sitting, so there'll be at least 20 seconds there. So we do know CCRDU can put on some pretty hefty offense. So
she'll be straight out. CCRDU jammer is in the bin again.
actually, Copper Floggin is
She's back in the bin.
in the box for her third penalty.
Yep. This is not a great start for Copper.
So it'll be BCR who come out first.
Unforgiving Bunny there, all up in their business. Rocket Man there taking advantage of the new rule change to legally re-enter, having re-entered in front of the blocker who hit her out in the first instance.
Okay, and that's the BCR jammer off to the penalty box there as well. I didn't see what it was for, unfortunately.
It's a blocking with the head, if I am to believe Boomtish, the jam ref
Okay,
there.
so lead is still up for grabs, and CCRDU have made some space there for Copper Floggin. One to beat, and now she is not lead. So BCR must have picked up lead before popping off to the penalty box.
CCRDU sending in some serious offense there. BCR kind of taking in their stride there, staying in front of the jammer. Oh, good feed up the line there from Copper to make that pass. That was hard work, that pass.
That was good. So picking up 5 there. And we have Rocket Man back out on the track as well. So she's on her scoring pass. She's been shrugged off some defence there on the outside line, and she's halfway back around now. And Copper Floggin still struggling to fight through this pack. She's doing really well, actually.
Yeah, look, that's certainly not a pack that I'd want to be stuck behind with both Unforgiving Bunny and Mo Money in that pack.
Just a couple of seconds left in this jam. And I suspect Copper Floggin will be glad to see the end of that one.
So that's both Copper Flogging and Rocket Man jamming 2-minute jams back-to-back to start the game.
So Copper Floggin picking up 9 points there, which is a pretty good effort, I think, actually. 14 points to Rocket Man. Given though they both... no, Copper Floggin did not have a penalty in that one, Rocket Man, but it was a 2-minute jam, as he said. That's back-to-back 2-minute jams, which is...
So Hans Offerback there in the middle, he's called a timeout. It's early for a timeout, but probably a good call, I reckon, at this stage of the game.
Is he having an official review?
I think it's just a timeout, I think.
There's a timeout. See, suggestive. Just talking to the skaters there from the Valkyries. And BCR with 2 in the box.
It's swinging.
BCR with 2 in the box, as I said, and 1 blocker standing there for CCRDU. And it's Feral Streep. I can't quite see which blockers we have from BCR in the box right now. My view is obstructed.
I think it's Unforgiving Bunny and Regulator, but I could be wrong.
The
I've been
pivot.
wrong before.
It is the pivot. 40 and
Yeah, so Unforgiving Bunny and Regulator there.
Regulator. You are absolutely right. I am going to have a song in my head now. Regulators, mount up. It was a clear black night. We'll keep the raps to
MC Puss Puss on the mic. So Puss's namesake there with Kimbo Kazi doing amazing 2-wall for Central Coast, who
Central
earned
Coast
lead, but
have earned
Duchess
lead.
and Duchess of Hazard, or Dutchie as I'll probably end up calling her, just getting out of the pack faster. Now, look, if I was Central Coast, I'd be calling the jam here with, well, it just looks like we're burning Brisbane's penalties.
Yeah.
And that's
So
the call they do make.
Very sensible decision there. So 2 in the box. I don't think they'll have very long to sit. I did just see 4 seconds for one of them at least. So they won't be in there too long, but 4 seconds is a long time, I think, for a jam start. So 2 to beat for the Central Coast Jammer.
So it's Hal and Knight there on the jam line with Necrophilia.
And it's a full complement out there for CCRDU.
Necrophilia, not only one of the main jammers here for the Punk Blockers,
BCR out for lead.
and lead jammer, but she's also a murder certified ref and officiating this tournament as well. So she's a multi-talented young woman, that one.
Bless. I was just saying earlier, we did give a shout out for National Volunteers Week this week. So we right now are volunteering our time. A little bit self-serving because Downunder Derby TV certainly has provided plenty of coverage for yourself and me at plenty of our games. So, but it's giving back to our community and it's volunteering, and that's what it's all about.
So now we've got Howling Knight there stuck behind Unforgiving Bunny, Regulator and Mo Money. And Necrophilia kind of just doing laps at the moment. She had been ably assisted there by Slasher Heart Scarebear, number 703.
And Central Coast Jammer holding her neck a little, so she might have just copped a stray body part at some point, and the panties off now.
So looking for the stash, but Scarebear right on that pivot's business, not letting the pivot get clear.
Oh, excellent feat. Yes.
It's a successful star pass, but...
Oh, and she's out.
And she's out.
BCR blocker. Going 703, that's Slushy Heart Scarebear. Oh, yeah.
I'll pay that.
Yeah. A cheeky little jump there.
Cheeky little jump, hey, but
On the pivot.
got the points done, you know.
Pivot come jammer. She's doing quite well, actually.
Mo Money
Almost.
getting the better of her up the line there, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was quite
for her.
unfortunate. She had a nice line there, and just at the last moment popped her out on the inside line, but she put some points on the board.
So it's a 24-4 jam there.
27-6.
Oh, 27-6, my apologies. So a good jam there for BCR, but the Valkyries putting on some points up there on the end as well.
Yeah, Punk Block is off to a really strong start here, and I think this is form we'll see continue throughout the game, I'd imagine. Very strong side.
Absolutely. So now we've got Hooker on the line up against
those
the
feet.
Betty Boom.
Hooker just toe stopping all the way through, and it's CCRDU not far behind. It's Betty Boom.
So a bit of a old school there, points and call there from the from the punk blockers. Getting a goat, letting their jammer push. 4-0 in the bag. And so we've got, for this jam coming up, we've got the same combination as we had for the first 2 jams of this bout. We've got Copper Floggin 1-1-1 for Central Coast up against Rocket Man, skating under 4.55 for the punk blockers.
Now we do have Copper Floggin, who has given away 3 penalties already in her first couple of jams.
Rocket Man.
So hoping she can keep things tidy. And that's a good pass. It's a really great pass off to 1-0 Helvetica Bold.
Helvetica Bold. And look, Unforgiving Bunny tried to have her, but she didn't have the inside line, and Helvetica did. So it looks like here BCR choosing to run the jam, given that there's been a star pass. It's an interesting tactic, but one that's becoming more and more popular.
Well, you certainly want to field a capable pivot at this day and age.
Absolutely. And
a pivot is nothing but a backup jammer, and if you think anything else than that, then you're kidding yourself. So certainly you really want to put out an effective pivot.
Looking Helvetica Bowl doing a good job, but this BCR2 wall, it really has her number.
Looks like she might have taken a knee to the head there accidentally, and looks like she's
off to the bin there.
Off to the box for that as well. Oh, nice hit out there by Copper Floggin.
She's taking this roller's blocker quite seriously, getting it done.
She's going to have a rest for that actually, which is unfortunate. I thought it was pretty good. I don't mind seeing the odd blocker, the odd jammer having a block. That's a very busy looking CCRDU penalty box.
And bear in mind that the jammer there in the penalty box is the pivot, and one of the blockers in the penalty box was the jammer.
Yeah. Really unfortunate there. That's 4 skaters. There'll be just 1 blocker out.
And the chosen victim there is skater 202, Hannibal Dector.
I think you always take it as a personal compliment when you are the only blocker sent out.
I agree.
Of course, you'd send me, wouldn't you?
Oh, every time. They don't call you blocked a pussy for nothing.
Right. We all know I've had to yield part of my name. I now go by Puss or Puss Puss because the block part was entirely irrelevant. We just take a second to shout out to our sponsors, please. Downunder Derby TV, of course. And Skate Project, bringing you this coverage. And of course, Better Bearings. You've seen the commercials in the breaks. And Maitland Roller Derby League and Junkyard Jerks, bringing you really, really good replays. So 1 to beat. Not a bad effort by the single blocker there. Not a bad effort at all. So it's another blocker joining the pack now, but it's coming in at the back of the pack, so I suspect she'll make a bunny of herself. Well, perhaps BCR will make a bunny of her, or a goat, whatever your language. That was quite good. She did go out there, but coming back in safely. No pass, no penalty. And pretty much all of CCRDU back on the track now. Great hit out there. Forcing the BCR jammer to come back in at the back.
Slasher Heart Scarebear there, keeping the pivot away from... So just some confusion there from the BCR blockers about who in fact had superior position on the jammer. And the jammer gets through, not a cut.
I have just, for interest's sake, pulled up the flat track stats predictor for this game. And it does have a BCR's punk blockers ranked at number 10 in Australia, and Central Coast at 37 in the country, And there is a 92% chance that Brisbane will win this game.
Look, I've got a lot of faith in Central Coast. Because we've played them twice in the last month, and just the difference in their gameplay between the first time and the second time, the Central Coast team is looking really great this year.
Oh, you could not deny that. Coming up from the B division last year in the 5x5, which is our regional tournament here, so they're fresh to the A division, and they're certainly coping very well. They came away from their first round with a fairly hefty win, actually, over Sydney B, who are a well-established team here in the region. So really great to see that. And certainly 2 weeks ago compared to today when we played Central Coast, absolutely a team who have learned from a game and played us 2 weeks later and showed that they had learned a lot. And certainly brought it to us, particularly in the first half. They really stepped up. But
so a star pass there has happened, and I think 525, that's Posh Deckham, thought that she was out, but Unforgiving Bunny had fundamentally different views and blocked that outside line. And so now Posh is still stuck in the pack behind that BCR wall. But excellent awareness there from Unforgiving Bunny to shut down the star pass and block that line.
As CCRDU have a nice triangle set up there and a float. Doing quite well there. Neat run back. We have folks being mowed down everywhere along the
I think there was
straight there.
some friendly fire with the BCR blockers that sees Posh Deckham get through the pack.
But CCRDU pivot come jammer as she's out of the pack. And Brisbane calling that jam to an end. Only 5-0. Will there be another 4? I think perhaps 9-0.
9-0.
Yeah.
So I'm loving this nice close jam start here with a triangle from each team and an opponent friend in their triangle. It's becoming more and more common to start in each other's business, and I love it. It's great.
Some great strength there by Hooker. There was nothing wrong with that CCRDU triangle, but Hooker showing some incredible strength, just pushing her way through.
Yeah, Hooker is a very, very strong jammer. Slasher Heart Scarebear there, leading a train of offense from BCR to pick up those points for Hooker. We end up with 3. And as predicted, we've got that same matchup again, Puss. We've got Copper Floggin and Rocket Man.
Yeah, it is funny seeing jammers who find themselves in the same rotation. I think I pretty much in the last game, in the second half, lined up against Copper Floggin every jam.
Close to.
She's a very effective blocker, so...
Copper Floggin there, 2 shirt whips later, finds a line up the outside.
Doing pretty well to get lead there.
Yeah.
Got some nice pace on. Can I just say, let's bring back the shirt whip. I need to see more shirt whip. But a double in one pass, I'm into that. What have we got there? Just 1? Unlucky, but that's 1.
There is a bit of a ref conference happening at the moment. It did look like Copper Flogging went out of bounds without being touched by an opposing skater. Not sure if she went before the whistles went or not. So just watch this space, that little officials conference there that you can see on your screen. And they're back with no stoppage, so I think we're okay.
We're underway. Ooh. Unlucky there. Some great feet by the BCR jammer. I can't see what number she is. Sorry.
That's 2-2, Duchess of Hazard.
Duchess of Hazard. And again being met with some fierce opposition there. She was all but through, but CCRW's jammer there, Betty Boom, boosted her way on out, and she's on her second scoring pass now, and BCR yet to make their initial. So Betty Boom, I can confirm, also a very strong jammer. She's got some great push.
She had a great game against us this morning.
She sure did. Yeah, very strong. Gosh, how she stood there that long, I'll never know. But the BCR blocker going to have a rest for her troubles, and another one for a failure to reform, I think. So a little bit less work to do for Betty Boot now.
Oh, great offense there from Horolulu and Thunderpuss. Transition seamlessly from a 2-wall into a pair offense.
I suspect we'll see. There we go. She's called it earlier than I thought, but I thought, or perhaps that was 2 minutes, was it? Oh no, it wasn't. But that will give CCRDU. Here we go. Great pass.
Great pass.
So that will give CCRDU a bit of a pack advantage coming into this jam. Very wise, I think, putting Copper Flogging out there, 2 to beat for a little while. Both are sitting, so she'll have at least 20 seconds to do her thing.
So I think we just got some questions about the score there. If I'm interpreting Hans Offback's wild gesticulations to the head ref correctly.
I think 10's probably about right.
Look,
2 scoring passes.
I would be inclined to agree, but I haven't seen any change to the score yet, although Rumpire Stiltskin is heading over to the score trackers, so maybe there'll be some change. And an additional point. So maybe she lapped a jammer one more time.
Okay, and we're underway. I think it would do Copper Flogging well to get going. Oh, great hit out there. Can't see who that is.
It's Hannibal Dector.
Yes, really great hit out.
Really saving lead there.
Absolutely.
For
so we have Copper Flogging out for lead. And BCR jammer out now as well. Regulator, I think, is it?
No, that's Necrophilia.
Sorry, Regulator. That is Necrophilia.
So I think in that jam, Central Coast really utilised their pack advantage to their benefit.
Absolutely. Yeah, really great job. So 4-0 is a 4-0 win.
Absolutely.
It is pretty good. Valkyries really doing quite well here. I think I'm quite impressed with the roller derby they're bringing, as we said, and this game is no different. Very skilled team, very technical, playing some quite smart roller derby too, and really enjoyable to play against, actually. Copter.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh.
And I think the scoreline I don't think really reflects the momentum of the game at the moment.
No, yeah, I would agree. I think things are looking fairly tight from here where I sit, without looking at the scoreboard.
Yeah, I just looked at the scoreboard then, and 116 to 40, or I think it's about to be 120 to 44. I just don't feel like that reflects how close the game feels.
No, I think BCR had a couple of really strong ones in the beginning with I think Copper Flogging in the penalty box for 3 in a row. Might have done a little bit of damage, but things are back on track now, and the Valkyries really looking strong.
Yeah, and if you saw in that replay there, Betty Boom's footwork up the line.
Yeah.
If you're not all the way to the line,
if you are not on that line,
you are not blocking Betty Boom.
Betty Boom is on the line. Yeah, we've certainly learned that lesson. I wouldn't kid you on that.
So we've got Rocket Mam versus Copper Flogging. This time Rocket Mam sneaking through for lead.
One to beat for. That's Copper Flogging off to the box for a penalty.
It was
penalty.
It was very close, but Denominator, the Australian MRDA regional official in charge, was right there on it.
Affectionately known as Nom Noms.
Nom Noms. Very, very distinctive accent when he calls penalties.
It does. It's very Scottish. But we have seen 2 apex jumps in this jam from this jammer. I want to see another one. I won't lie to you.
Oh, she finds the line on the outside.
Doing very well there on the outside line. 1 to beat for Central Coast. Unfortunately, she's run out of track.
So really effortless pass there from Rocket Man. I mean, I say that. She puts a lot of time and effort into her training.
And that's Copper Flogging with the panty in her hand. A pivot out front, which is a good place to be, but not sure if she's looking for it. She's looking back though, so
Oh.
she's actually going to have a rest herself. So Copper Floggin will be doing this herself for at least the next 30 seconds, like it or not. As we see Central Coast send the troops back. And there is a bin party happening.
There's a bin party with now 3 Central Coast blockers in or on their way to the bin and 2 BCR blockers.
There ain't much space in that box right now.
Is there a Central Coast
Central
blocker on the
Coast blocker
track?
is being shooed away. There is no blocker, no.
There is
There's
now a
just-
Central Coast blocker.
There is a jammer with a panty in her hand, but she is through. And no opportunity to pick up any points, unfortunately, for Copper Floggin. There would have been good to pick up a couple there, but if we had 10 more seconds in the jam, she'd have got a couple, I imagine.
And Rocket Pam just casually picking up a 32. Just
Oh, yeah.
casually, really.
Just like that.
Bam, get it done.
I'd like to give a shout out to blockers who often pick up points for jammers. My Lord and Saviour, offence.
So 2 versus 2 in the pack. And Duchess there got lead, hopped on toast off out and then back in. So is lead correctly and then a cut track penalty there. So excellent officiating. Unfortunately for Duchess, she did step out and then keep playing on re-entering rather than immediately returning. So it will be a power jam for Central Coast. Oh, but now the tide has turned and there is a cut track penalty for the Central Coast jammer.
I didn't see that.
But Denominator did.
Yeah.
And that's why he gets paid the big bucks as an official.
Does he?
A big $0 there because he's also a volunteer.
Shout out to all the volunteers.
Duchess looking like she thought Regulator was going to play some offense there and got a bit surprised when she didn't.
She had 3 blockers to beat up there, one of them wearing the same jersey as her.
But Dutchie made the pass, so that's great.
Yeah.
Regulator this time comes in with the offense.
Oh, great feed on the outside track there. Really well done picking up all 5 of those.
Oh, great line coverage there from Unforgiving Bunny.
Betty Boom really pushing, as I said, very powerful.
Oh, Kimbo Kazi, the destroyer of jammers from BCR, just giving Betty Boom a little nudge to the inside, and that was enough. Oh, Honolulu there with the exit hit. Strong triangle there from BCR at the back of the pack. Duchess is through. A great jam there from Duchess of Hazzard and a great defensive jam there from the punk blockers. I think this replay here might be the cut track penalty there. Just a toe stop on the line there from...
I don't know. I liked it. I'm a jammer though. I think it was rough.
Well, as we said, the OPRs were right on it. They've issued the cut from the outside, so...
There's not much I can do about it other than commentate, which I am paid a fat $0 to do right now.
Oh, here it comes again.
Let's have a look.
Let's have a look there. Look, it looks like there's... Oh,
I'm paying that. She can have a pass. Thank you for the replay.
That's pretty funny. I think they're officially doing something that I call it, and it should. This is the 3rd time it's going to be played.
so
Maybe Uncle Copter, you can pop into the middle and
look,
find out what's being talked about.
Yeah.
I suspect it's this. It would be brave to review that, I think, from the CCRDU bench because they cannot see that. from where they are on the bench. But I think worth reviewing if
So I've come back with the exciting news. That was the official review used as a timeout.
Oh, yeah.
So, folks,
Missed opportunity potentially, but I doubt you'd have got that one back. But as I said, I think it was good.
Here behind the scenes, we were talking about whether or not the replay that was captured was the source of the official review.
Indeed, it's a timeout official review, and I like to call those reviewing the colour of the sky because there's not much to it. Unlucky, but them's the blows.
Them's the blows. So we've got just 3.5 minutes left in this first half, and I guess because I haven't really been paying attention to the whole score, I hadn't realised the Punk Blockers have already got up to 165.
Yeah, they have a couple of power jams. They've really put some laps down.
But again, the scoreline doesn't reflect just how much hustle and how hard the Central Coast skaters are
CCRU
playing.
really playing quite well. I don't think they'll be disappointed with their performance today, and I really hope they're not by any means. Jammers really hustling, and the Blockers doing the best they can. Their triangles are strong. If they're being beaten by a very good side, and there is no shame in that. If you can see a black screen.
And I think we're back.
I think we're back. Good.
So Betty Pip just stuck behind an incredible Brisbane triangle.
And
Necrophilia.
She milked that back block for a whole minute or so. She put herself on that line, exposing her back, and waited for it very patiently twice, and she got what was coming.
She got it eventually, showing there that not only is she a jammer, but she's also a referee.
She SMRT. Yeah.
And a more traditional pass through the pack. Oh no, and she's been issued a cut track penalty.
I wonder if we caught that, because I don't know if it was either, but I do not have very good sight of that particular corner from here.
That was Betty Boom just sneaking there around Slasher Heart Scare Bear wearing the 703. Just excellent move there. Thunderpuss playing some killer counter offense there. Two blockers tried to get to the triangle to play offense, and Thunderpuss didn't let them. I'm 100% here for that.
Thunderpuss will be my favourite skater by namesake, if nothing else. I also love her jersey says Puss, and I imagine her friends call her Puss. I hear you, girl.
So there was Betty Boom almost out of the pack, but last minute BCR exit hit sent her to the back of the pack, and some
nice
fancy
feet
footwork
there by Nick.
Keeping Nick in play. So that was a close jam.
Yeah, 13 to
Here we
8,
are.
I think.
Look at these feet here. Just a little side surf transitioned, keeper in bounds.
And a big
Oh,
thank
no.
you to Junkyard Jerks for bringing us our replay.
So this might be the last jam in the first half. We've got Hooker on the line for BCR, and
She's through. Very strong jammer, as we've already said. She does have the ability to just keep pushing.
we've got Howell and Knight jamming for CCRDU. Panty in hand. Up against Unforgiving Bunny and now Kimbo Kazi.
Oh, a very big spin there by Mrs. F. Landing on her bot, unfortunately. But she's having a rest for that, actually. I didn't see what the penalty was for.
Looked like a low block.
Unlucky.
And another CCRDU blocker, that's Makita being sent for a clockwise block. So CCRDU in a tiny bit of penalty trouble here. And there's been a star pass.
So CCRDU block is a little bit split there.
Hooker trying to sneak attack there onto the pivot, Posh Deckham, but Posh not really having any bar of that.
Posh having a bit of a jam herself.
So here's the thing, right? CCRDU's offense is actually quite good, but
Very
BCR's response to their offense
is a little bit better.
Is
at
a
this
little
point.
bit better.
Yeah.
And so Central Coast doing all the right things, but just not succeeding because of the caliber of the opposing team. So it's a really entertaining game to watch.
There's some really great roller derby happening here. Posh still fighting her way through. The Brisbane blockers find themselves out of the pack, but very fortunately hitting Posh Deckham out at that point, so they were able to regather and reform the pack at the front there. So it's another easy pass there for...
Kimbo Kazi doing a great job at keeping the Jammer's friends away from her.
Yeah.
Keeping her friends in play.
Jammer, sad times.
Keeping the Jammer sad times, but making sure that her friends stayed in play. So excellent float blocking there from Kimbo Kazi.
I think that'll be the end of the first half.
So
And it's a very respectable 64 to the Valkyries and 202 to Brisbane's Punk Blockers. And we'll be back with more coverage in about 10 minutes or so. And you'll see some good commercials for now from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Judge Booty. We are the VR, the Virgin Regime. We are a worldwide collective of queer skaters, their allies and their supporters. Roller derby is an inclusive sport. No matter how you identify or who you love, there is a team near you who will welcome you with loving arms and massive bruises.
Roller derby fans, welcome back to the second half of Game 5 here on Track 1 at the East Coast Invitational. I'm Copter, I'm here with Puss Puss, and we are talking to you about Punk Blockers from Brisbane City Rollers and the Central Coast Roller Derby United Valkyries. This Down Under Derby TV is brought to you by Skate Project, Better Bearings and Maitland Roller Derby League. East Coast Invitational is sponsored by Roller Derby Heaven, Off Your Tree, and of course our hosts, Central Coast Roller Derby United, with special thanks to Skate Victoria. Puss Puss, great, entertaining first half of Roller Derby.
I have not hated it, Copter.
100% not hate.
Not hate. There's been some fantastic roller derby, there's no doubt about that. CCRDU, fairly junior, I think, to BCR. BCR, a very veteran team, very experienced, and it shows on the track. CCRDU playing some really great roller derby. You must give credit to them.
Absolutely. And I think if you're just tuning in now, you might look at this scoreline and be like, oh, it's a puppy stomping. But actually, very few puppies have been stomped.
Not
it's just
at all.
been hard roller derby. Central Coast doing some really great roller derby, but BCR just a little bit better and converting that into points.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Valkyries, a few power jams against them. We all know they're very expensive, power jams against you. So picking up a few points there. But also Punk Blockers doing really well today as well, executing some excellent roller derby. Their ability to shrug off the offense is notable.
So the lineup, BCR's just put up their first lineup, and we've got Unforgiving Bunny, Mo Money, Kimbo Kazi, and Regulator. And I can already tell you that I do not want to be the jammer for Central Coast in this first jam, because that's a great lineup that BCR have put out.
Yeah. Look, I think probably I'd be tempted to rip that panty straight up and say,
This looks like a star pass.
Thought you were blocking, did you? Pivot? Guess what? But looks like copper flogging, is it?
I reckon it'd be odds on.
Yeah.
Yeah, copper flogging. A few Central Coast Roller Derby United skaters starting in the bin, but we've got 525 Posh Deckham and 6 Mini Mayhem being fielded there as a 2-wall for Central Coast.
I did give Copper Flogging a little nick to the nose in our game. It was a high block. I did go to the penalty box for it, rightly so. She told me I was not allowed to apologise again, but here on the air I will apologise again. Entirely an accident, and it is roller derby, but Copper Flogging, I'm sorry.
Copper Flogging has been from a great jammer in the B division of the Eastern region to basically transitioning almost straight away to a great jammer in the A division. of Eastern Region Roller
Yeah,
Derby
absolutely.
League. I'm so
Ooh.
into Copper Flogging. I think she's put on a great game against some solid defense today.
Absolutely, and she's through now. She fought hard for that. So really great effort there by Copper Floggin.
And
I don't know
BCR
if she'll pick up any points.
BCR blockers making
Yeah,
a little
looks
mess
like-
of the Central Coast wall, and Rocketman's actually managed to get through for 2 cheeky passes already.
It looks like BCR happy to run the longer jam. Or
Ooh.
I don't know whether. I
New
thought she
rule.
was off then, but she's come back in legally, which is the right thing to do, of course. But there she goes. She's had enough. I think we will have seen Copper pick up a few off the back there, probably 3
Yeah,
or
looks
so
like,
at least.
Looks like 3 points there.
Yeah, good.
Here comes the Junkyard Jerks replay. Just BCR blockers getting all up in Central Coast's business, and Rocketman finding the line there. So there on the Junkyard Jerks replay, seeing just how much damage the Brisbane City Rollers blockers are doing to the wall of Central Coast.
We have Scare Bear up for BCR now. I cannot see, but possibly Betty Boom for CCR.
Yeah, it's,
Do you?
that's Betty Boom there being driven out by Scare Bear, and Duchess of Hazard's now working on that 4 wall.
And Brisbane
from
doing
Central
really
Coast.
well to bridge out there as well. And it's BCR out for lead as the troops return for some offense. No, they're going to set up some defense. This is very quickly back.
Oh, solid hit there from Duchess of Hazard to clear out the blocker who was trying to stop her.
Helvetica bold there. But Betty Boom
So clear
out on her
instructions.
scoring pass now. Picking up 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
She
she's
might
going to
have
pick
got
them
all
up,
of
but
those,
didn't
I
quite make the
think.
pass. Brutal Deluxe
think-
there on the Brisbane bench, giving the keep going signal. Probably trying to get Honolulu out the bin, but also backing
So-
this 3 wall to cause some damage. Oh, but it hasn't paid off as Duchess of Hazard been called for a forearms.
And that's all of them now for Betty Boom. Out she goes to collect another scoring pass now. Let's see. Interesting CCRU setting up a blocking formation. The jammer is in the bin.
I think Central Coast had a plan to slide that blocking formation back onto Brisbane. Brisbane wised up and they rolled their own formation back as well. So good strategy there from both teams.
But more of a traditional offensive setup now for CCR.
Oh,
Betty
Betty.
Boom. She said, "No, girl,
She don't need that offense.
you just wait there."
I got this.
Nice feet, and she certainly pulled a pass or two like that on us. So,
Absolutely.
so good to see everyone else copying it as well.
So Ferrell going up to do a little bit of offense, but only a little.
Oh, that's
Oh.
probably another track cut.
Yeah, probably another tracker there. Duchess has. I don't know if she didn't feel the rope when her skates went down.
Or
But-
well, perhaps she thought she'd only cut one who went down, but a good call.
Yeah. Oh, let's see.
And that'll be a power jam now for a good 25
So
odd
here we can see
seconds.
that
Yeah, she cut all of them.
she it looks like she might not have felt the rope on her way down with the way that she fell.
So it's a power jam here to Central Coast with pack advantage as well. So just 3 blockers out there to beat for
and
punk blockers.
and
And it's
Minnie Mayhem and Hannibal Dector getting all up in the walls business, and Howlin' Knight now gets through for
nice.
lead, sneaking up the outside there. Great pass.
really good to see. Let's see if they can pick up a few points on this jam. The offense coming through now. Oh, outside line was looking good for a moment there.
I think she just lost her feet as she came in.
Happens to the best of us.
Thunderpuss there tries to draw the cut, not quite fast enough, but she snaps straight back into that triangle. So
And the
great blocking there from Thunderpuss.
BCR jammer back on the track now as well. And
Oh,
Howler Knight doing quite well. Calling an end to that jam. And that'll be... Let's have a look.
looks like a
5-0
5-0 jam.
Yeah. So score 92 points to Central Coast Valkyries and 2-5 to Brisbane's Punk Blockers.
So great transition there from in the Junkyard Jerks replay there from offense to defense from the Central Coast Roller Derby United, really showing their maturity as a team. Those smart roller derby transitions that they are making.
Really great hit out on the inside line there. I didn't see who, unfortunately. I think it was number 10, Helvetica Bold.
So
I didn't see whatever happened there, but I did hear something through my headphones even.
it looked like the skater that blocked Necrophilia ended up underneath her.
Oh, great pass.
Great star pass there. The BCR defense was well compressed on Nick, just spinning through the pack.
And Helvetica Bold just hitting the back of that pack and going straight down. It's a pretty solid wall.
Oh, and a back block there on Helvetica Bold. So there'll be a power jam for Necrophilia.
Interesting. Cool.
Oh, and
there's a double jammer penalty.
Necrophilia also in the bin. So we're going for a 2-minute jam. There'll be a short jammer turnaround.
I think I just saw us a little bit on the live feed. From that really far out view.
Oh, excellent. Well, we'll try and wave next time that angle comes back.
I can see Sheriff in the background over there as well. But back to the roller derby. So Copper Flogging doing pretty well to make a blocker of herself.
Scare Bear was blocking by herself and just killed that jammer's soul.
She did. Really great to...
Also, a cut being issued there.
Yeah, I thought perhaps...
I think that blocker went out.
Yeah, okay. I didn't see the blocker, but I did see her feet, and I thought perhaps...
Oh, look, I think our...
Let's have a good look
so
at this. So
that's the blocker there. There's her out of bounds.
She certainly did go out.
She certainly did go out of bounds, so...
Yeah, really unlucky.
Unless there's something we can't see on the camera angle, appears to... it would have been an official review that they probably could have won.
Hands off her back, doing some very good body movements there for the amusement of all.
So we have on the line, it's Betty.
Oh, gosh, you cannot give her any space.
No.
You really can't. She's very effective. She's having a great game.
Yeah, if your foot's not 100% on the line, she's getting past, and that's just
really
a fact.
patient and persistent, you know, just holds that line, she's very strong. Her core strength is incredible. And just like that, she's done it again, you know, just skipping up there on her toe stops, and she's defeating a very experienced team here now, a couple of passes, so...
And that's the Valkyries over 100 points, which is a fantastic result for them.
Absolutely. I think they're definitely putting points on the board. Feet again, absolutely.
Like Regulator was going for the line there to push her out, and she was just not having it.
But I mean, I just feel like as a blocker, you feel like you've done enough, and it's never enough against Betty Boom. She's just so strong and so precise with her feet. She knows herself. So if she's still in, she uses every last part of that track and very effectively. Let's have another look. Hopefully, it's some. Footwork, but
so Regulator thought she had her there, but no. And look,
I'm going to go ahead and pay some credit to that.
That face that Regulator made on the Junkyard Jerks replay there, I've made that before many a times as a blocker.
I didn't see it, but I saw the feed again, so I imagine it was the opposite to my delighted face that she was pulling.
But all power to Betty there. She had a solid jam, and she made some great line passes.
Yeah.
So it's 110 now to 238. So this is an amazing scoreline for Central Coast. They are playing so well.
Failure to return there for
Posh. Oh, Copper tried to go up that inside line, but Kimbo Kazi
say no.
So no, but the ref says even more no. Saying it was clockwise. Sometimes on the apex, those clockwise blocks are a little bit easier to get.
Oh, great work. Ooh.
Oh, and that's Copper being sent for a forearms there. Denominator not liking her use of arms as she made that pass up the outside line, so she'll go and have a rest.
Yeah, really unlucky. That would be 5 or so for Copper, I think, for the game, which isn't great, but there's still a couple in the bag. I had 5 penalties in my first half against them and finished on 6 as a jammer, so there's some smiling faces here in the BCR pack. They're happy about having caught a bunny.
And what the BCR did there in an excellent move
Posh.
was as that blocker came back from the bin, they snapped back. They bamboozled one of the refs for a second, who immediately rescinded his call once he saw that there was a blocker coming back from the bin there. So the strategy that BCR are using is bamboozling even the refs.
Posh Deckham doing really well to be the last line of defence for CCRDU. She's having a great game, actually.
And Copper flogging out of the bin makes that pass. So great work from Copper there.
And Penny back on the head. And she'll be met with a... Oh, that'll be 2 points at least, I think. Ooh. Computer says no. I would have given her at least 1. I thought 2.
So there we are. There's the snapping back there. So great, just some great strategy there, creating a pack a little bit further back than her teammates were expecting, forcing the out of play at the front, and also catching a goat.
As we reset now, we have... Gosh, I can't see this far.
That is Rocket Man 455 and Howling 326.
That's a penalty to Howlin' Knight.
I think it was just a little toe stop out of bounds, and then she kept going.
So it's a power jam here to the BCR Punk Blockers with just over 17 minutes remaining on the clock. By just over, I mean heaps over, almost 18 minutes. So a little bit of time left on the clock, and great footwork there to stay in bounds. Oh, gosh. Such strong, powerful jamming.
Yeah, that's Rocket Man looking great today. She's putting on a lot of points.
Yeah, I had to catch her a little earlier against NSR, which was indeed a tight game, 8 points in it, I think. And she played very well.
So Regulator jumping up to do O, and we've got the BCR setting a 3-wall at the back to catch the jammer who's returning from the bin. And a cheeky little star pass around the wall catches BCR walls by surprise.
I do love a star pass. Especially
one like
really
that.
Good, cheeky, sneaky star pass.
And so we've seen the call there from Brutal Lux. It's a star pass, don't call it off. So I'm sure
they're going by
Hannibal Dector is loving that.
Yeah, by the theory that we go by, that is that pivot probably didn't want to jam for 2 minutes, but she's going to. It's a great strategy. I think, yes, Thunderpuss out for a self-report probably there. It was a counter-directional block.
Oh, great catch there from the BCR wall.
BCR's doing so well. You know, the jammers really bringing some great footwork and great strength into those walls, but BCR just so strong.
And it's a great jam. Looks like 19-4 there, favouring the Punk Blockers. So
I heard they've been coached by a really cool dude in the past.
look, there's been quite a few coaches of the BCR Punk Blockers, but in 2014 it was me.
Oh, Uncle Copter.
Yeah, so it's really great to see how this team's developed. There's a lot of familiar names on the team, and there's just executing some great strategies there. So even though they're not my team anymore, it's really great to see these skaters and how they're developing. So
I'm CC out of you, Betty Boom, who is having an absolute cracker tonight.
She's having a corker.
Tonight? Is it this afternoon?
It's,
what's the time?
this evening,
it's
probably?
Kind of tonight, this evening, yeah. No, her game has been on form.
Oh, so great work there from Vixen and Mo Money, joined by
BCR
Thunderpuss.
Jammer nipping straight through, but Betty Boom might as well try and pick up a couple more and then see how she goes here. Yeah. So I'd say she got a couple out of that, at least three probably. I can't see the Jam ref's fingers. 3.
So, given that we're more than halfway through the second half, I might just give a quick shout out to our sponsors here at Downunder Derby TV. It's Skate Project, Better Bearings, and Maitland Roller Derby League, whose junkyard jerks are bringing us our replays.
Mm-hmm.
Punk Blockers looks like they're running away with it just a little bit now, 285 to 119.
Yeah, I mean, the score, as we've said already, the score is not entirely representative of the game, though that pass was very simple there by the Punk Blockers jammer. In fact, she looked a little confused as she came through.
It looked like there was too much. There was focus on the offense from the Blockers, and they missed the jammer.
Some nice footwork there by who is the jammer? Sorry.
So the jammer started off as Howland Knight. It is now
the BCR jammer.
Hannah Beldacta, and it's Nick Raphaelia who is
Nick,
jamming for BCR. So Mrs. F being sent
for a stop.
Being sent for a clockwise and a back block.
She gets a double whammy.
Yeah, I think.
Unfortunately, if she went out earlier for her, what was the first penalty?
She got a clockwise block, didn't hear the initial call, and then subsequently was issued a back block before she left the track. So she'll be sitting for a whole minute of rest.
A whole
unfortunately.
minute. That's old school. Remember when we used to do that?
I remember it too well.
Yeah.
Nothing like spending 7 minutes,
7 minutes
of the game sat in the bin and then having to sit the rest of it off.
As unlike you and I as it is to go to the penalty box. I have spent 7 or so minutes in the penalty box before, many times.
Oh, so Scare Bear sees one of the blockers trying to recycle her jammer, and she was having literally none of it.
I bet Nick is pretty chuffed about that. CCRDU skater just removed herself from the track.
It looked like there was an interaction between Howland Knight and Scare Bear, neither of whom came off particularly well out of it. Nick Raphaelia just...
She probably winded, I think. She's holding her tummy a little.
Yep.
It's probably just a little bit of a shock. Here we go. Instant replay by Maitland's Junkyard Jerks. Great feet there again.
Unlucky there from in the Junkyard Jerks replay there. Hannah Beldacta so close to getting out on that initial pass, but just a little nick from Honolulu, and that was done. So we've got Hooker on the line for Punk Blockers as the jammer, and we've got Betty Boom.
Who is having a cracker. I would like to see,
just straight through regulator there on the outside line.
I would like to see her out for lead again, and she's done just that. So I'd like to say that was on me. And
then there's Hooker proving that the easiest way around someone is through them, as she's out on her initial pass as well.
Good one. So that'll probably be it. Yep, 4-0 there to the Valkyries.
Good work there from the Valkyries.
So...
here we got Isdado. Bam!
Over you go. Bam, and the dirty's gone. So it's 130 points to CCRDU's Valkyries and 308 to Brisbane's Punk Blockers. As we set for the... I can't see what jam we're in, so it's not important.
It's 11. It's jam 11 here.
I just thought it said Jill. I wonder who Jill is. Her name's up on the...
So a great little 360 on the line there for Rocket Mam to get out for lead, but she's followed very closely by Copper Floggin. Great offense there from the BCR blockers.
Doing very well. Copper fighting for herself at the moment. CCRDU attempt to grab a goat at the back, which is quite good, and they've reset now to welcome that BCR offense.
Rocket Man.
My Lord and Saviour offense again.
A little jump spin there from Rocket Man on her way through.
Yeah, I didn't see the blocker who gave her some offense there, but shout out to the offense. We might see it again. Do we? No.
Look at that 360 spin there. Straight through. That's how you get lead.
It was all right.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, 5 out of 10.
Junkyard
we
Jerks
have
replay
an
there showing an
official
amazing
review.
initial
If you might want to run out
pass. Oh, okay.
and get the goss, maybe.
I can
It's
see
probably
captains
just an
and
official
alts.
timeout. Perhaps. Oh no, it may be both. Go and have a look, Uncle Copter. BRB. We'll bring you a little replay while we find out what's being reviewed there. Nice pass by the BCR jammer. Of course, your replay's brought to you by Junkyard Jerks. Make them roller derby. There's Copter. Just creeping in on the circle. Lots of talking. Copter nodding. I can't say that I could guess what is being reviewed. There's nothing there that I saw, but let's have the news.
So Gray has asked for an official review on the red jammer. They think that in one of the passes where she spun up the inside line, there was a cheeky toe-stop touchdown out of bounds, which would make that a cut. Referees had eyes on it. They're convinced she didn't go out of bounds, so no call will stand.
You'd have to imagine that if they thought she went out of bounds, they might have blown their whistle.
You know, but sometimes people who aren't the jam ref see those things.
Yeah.
They don't say anything at the time because it's the jam ref's job, but then when there's a review, they can say, well, actually, I agree with that team. Like, this is how I saw it. The other referees who had eyes on it were emphatic that they also saw no toe-stop touchdown out of bounds. So no call stands.
So that will be the Valkyries losing their official review. And nonetheless, get to have a little bit of an extra break. And BCR still has their official review. And just one to beat there.
Duchess. Great pass
The
there.
Duchess. And Duchess still picking up points. Or picking up points now, but still passing blockers. So great individual effort there.
And her feet just don't stop moving. Gives a bit of a...
Betty Boom, having a excellent pass there, but
she seems to have left the door open because Duchess found almost the same line through the pack immediately afterwards.
She's left that bloody door open.
But great pass there from both jammers.
Yeah, nice work. And
Here goes the initial pass.
Just replay.
Duke in, Duke out, back to the inside line, on your toe stops, bam, you're through. You look at replays like that and you assume that jamming was easy, but...
Is it? I don't know.
I wouldn't know. I'm rarely asked to do it. Puss puss?
Some people make it look easy. I am not one of those people.
Oh, Nick tried to find an outside line there, but the Central Coast Triangle was all over it.
Sensibly has come back in.
So Unforgiving Bunny there looking for the opportunity to do some sick O.
Some mad sick O.
Mad sick O. Didn't find it, so left Nick to do... Nick uses her rules knowledge as her offense and baits a stop block on one of those blockers.
She can bait. She definitely know how to bait.
You know, but look, that's everyone brings a different skill to jamming.
Stop block. No,
and if you can force opposing blockers to make errors, then good for you.
I mean, that certainly takes some patience. And
absolutely.
There's no mistaking that.
Little 1 foot transition there to stay in bounds. Yeah, beautiful move there from Nick Ophelia. I'll pay that.
As I was saying that I'm not terribly well known for my brains trust in the team. They call me Matt Damon. So, yeah, good on Nick. I think I might take some notes.
So there's been a star pass there, 2-2-0-2. That's Hannibal Dector. Unforgiving Bunny chased her out of the pack, but unfortunately got a high block. So Hannibal made the pass, and Unforgiving Bunny is starting the next jam in the bin. Here we can see here just the patience there, and the clockwise block being issued. You can see the blocker shaking her head. I think she knew she got done then.
Betty Boom up again. I'm going to will her to get lead because it worked last time.
And Betty Boom
Yes,
picking
she
up,
will.
and Betty
Yes,
Boom picking
queen.
picking up a lot of the workload in this game for Central Coast. That's Copper flogging out
unlucky
there. That's Copper flogging out there as a blocker. No pivots
Oh,
right
having a
as a
block.
blocker. You know,
You have to give your little yammers some time to hit people every now and then. 4-0.
and Dado just casually putting Copper flogging on the deck. So here's the Junkyard Jerks replay of Betty Boom just
It's like,
finding
is
her
it
toe
really
stops
open? Yeah, all right.
all the way through.
I'm going to have that.
Yeah, that Junkyard Jerks replay really showing just how amazing Betty Boom's line work has been.
Some posh out there for CCRDU.
It is.
I don't think we've seen her start as jammer too many times, but welcome.
We seen her end up as jammer a few times.
Yeah, but we also haven't seen Copper Floggin start as blocker.
You know, it's a things are exciting and different on track 1 this evening.
They are, and I mean,
Oh,
you'd have to say it's unlikely they'll pull this game back from here. So if they did want to try out a few things against a strong team, then yeah, why not? Why not mix things up a bit?
why not? Rocket Man, quick look at the bench. The bench says, no, keep going.
You keep going,
You
doll.
keep going.
Just keep swinging. Just keep swinging. Picks up 3, I'd say, and all of the tape.
Yeah.
Crushed it.
I did see at the start of the jam the tape came up and I was like, oh, that tape looks hazardous, but it's actually where the action is taking place. Oh, there it is. Oh,
All of it.
you can see there from the initial pass that the tape was in a pretty bad nick.
There'll be an official timeout for a wee bit.
They got 4 refs on it, so
5. Let's have another look at some roller derby. Thanks to Junkyard Jerks.
great exit
really
hit there
great, yeah.
from who's 5-1?
519.
519. Makita. Really, I think Rocket Man thought she had that inside line on her toe stops, but
She did not.
Makita plus the tape says no.
Says no. Got Betty Boom out there again, who has been incredibly effective tonight. She'd have some great stats, actually. Be good to see. Good to see her stats from the game. Yeah, it's the track is cactus. I'm gonna go ahead and say
That's the official diagnosis there.
Yeah, the official diagnosis is the track is cactus, and we're starting again. Let's have a look, just so we know who to blame it on.
Now, look, it looks like the tape makes this.
Oh, it's actually 2-0. Is it 2-0-2? And then it just goes on back here as well.
Due to the complete structural failure of the track, we're having to relay the straight.
Yeah, we've been watching replays of people cutting it up.
Yeah. So we've just had the head referee come over and let us know that they're relaying the inside line, which of course we can see, but we did just point out that we've been watching the replay over and over and enjoying the several skaters who destroyed it.
And look, I think that's indicative of just how much play has happened on the lines, particularly on this initial on the first straight. We've seen a lot of jammers make passes up the line.
Quick shout out to Downunder Derby TV's sponsors, Skate Project and Better Bearings. And of course, that fantastic track ripping replay brought to you by Maitland Roller Derby League's Junkyard Jerks. And of course, well captured by our producer. Is that what we call you? Yeah.
Vision switch.
Vision Switch. There you go. What's your name again, sir?
Man's laughter.
Man's Laughter. Good. I like that. He's been pretty good on the trigger finger for the replays tonight, I would say. I'm not displeased about them.
I'm 100% not displeased. I do particularly enjoy the montage of tape ripping that we got. It looks like Axiomatic is satisfied with the status of the track, so we are
So we're
back
back underway.
Duchess wasting no time and avoiding the lines, actually. She
Yeah.
went straight up the guts.
There is a whole lot of tape now you'll see on the pivot line ripped up. Oh, yeah.
Oh, those blockers out of play. They have to yield. So Betty Boom not having...
Oh, yes.
I was about to say not having a characteristic
You
success,
be
but
shush.
I'd be shush because she finds that inside line.
Oh, very great. Good patience, good strength. Really great line work.
So the jam has been called.
I'm going to give a hot tip and say we're having a short official timeout to repair the pivot line.
Look, luckily our referees and NSOs are multi-talented.
We're all
and
over
can
it.
multitask. They are all over fixing the pivot line. Here we can see Duchess wants to avoid the inside tape, so she goes straight up the middle. Bam, lead jammer.
Oh, thank you, Junkyard Jerks.
So we're here at the very first inaugural East Coast Invitational that's brought to you
Yeah.
by Roller Derby Heaven, Off Your Tree, and our host Central Coast Roller Derby United, with special thanks to Skate Victoria. Look, we're not even through day one and I'm into this tournament.
Yeah, it is good. As it says, the East Coast, there's no disputing that. We're stretching from Brisbane right down to Melbourne. And really good to see that spread of roller derby talent right here in the Central Coast. So a pretty good location for all participants, I suppose. I guess pretty far to come for Melbourne. Makes me feel like I should shush about a 4-hour drive. But it's just the frequency with which it's done for us.
And Nick Rothfilly there on an easy pass. And it's Hannibal Dector there struggling with Kimbo Kazi. Not a blocker you want to be stuck behind.
Oh.
Nick,
Get out.
is there anything she can't do?
Oh, gosh.
Cheeky little jump, transition in the air, on the line, but stays in bounds. Bam.
I really hope we get to see that again. I think we will.
I think so too.
I want to see it twice. I hope there's another little official, like some tape repairing situation that means we get to watch that twice. Nick baiting for that backy.
Look, it looks like
She's like, hit me here.
the Central Coast
she's
block has
abandoned
learned from
that,
the first
yeah.
time.
She's abandoned that and switched to jamming now.
Switch to jamming now, doing a tight little pass on the inside, but denominator,
Great re-entry.
eyes on there, nodding, great, and she's through. She had to work a little bit harder in that pass than she has done previously, but still gets it through. Now let's just look at this little jump spin pass thing that she does. Here she comes. Bottom left corner of your screen. Jump, spin, on the line, 1 foot, all good.
Get out.
Junkyard Jerks bring you that delicious little nugget of Jammer Spinsies up the line. I'm 100% here for it.
Oh, far out. Yeah. You know, jammers get a lot of help from offense these days, but sometimes they're just bloody good on their own.
Oh, there's Thunderpuss just opening up the inside line there for Hooker.
And Betty Boom finds herself being recycled to the back of the pack.
By the same person who did the offense for her jammer initially. So that's
She'd been busy.
Thunderpuss having a
that
busy
puss.
jam.
You call it puss or just puss?
Just puss.
Oh, right. I'm the double puss. Puss.
Well, that's so we don't get you confused.
Yeah, of course.
There's single puss and double puss.
I'm also an incredibly effective blocker and offending blocker.
And there's
Right.
And Regulator there just clearing the entire inside line for Hooker there. Just straight through. So look, the scoreline now 371 to 146, but it doesn't feel like that.
No, is this... You know, let's not...
Oh, here it comes again. Jump, spin. Oh, 1 foot. Yeah. Oh, dear. Junkyard Jerks and our producer, Man's Laughter, just giving us all of the jam action that we need here.
I'm into that.
Me
I'm going to
too.
think about that a lot tonight.
Maybe you can do it tomorrow.
Yeah. My coach has low expectations of me, clearly.
Oh,
Nice little stomp over that line there.
That's true. It was almost an apex jump in as much as she was almost at the apex when she jumped around the block.
Yeah.
I think she was still
but it was on the straight.
but almost at
She
the
was
apex. So
jumping some legs. Ah, good work. Great jamming there. Just using her shoulders to bait the blockers one way or the other without any footwork at all. But
and then
really
just you hitting with her shoulder to free up her hips to step right around the blocker up the line. So great work there.
So the panty is off.
The panty is off, but Claire Bitch Project is just not letting the pivot anywhere near the her jammer.
There. The pivot is just going to be in the same danger that the jammer's in. Very wise, actually, of Posh Deckham to hang on to that. I think the pivot was right in the thick of it.
Yeah, it was a great use of the star pass to detract some of the blockers' attention. And once one or two of those blockers were committed to block the star pass, she just snuck through on her initial.
Being recycled back to the back of the pack there, but BCR welcoming her with open arms in their triangle as the jam has been called to an end. And I think actually that signifies the last jam of the match.
So, again, this we've said it before. We'll say it again. The scoreline doesn't reflect just how close that game was. So 391 to 147, the unofficial final score. Punk Blockers over the Central Coast Roller Derby United Valkyries here at the East Coast Invitational on track 1. But just an entertaining game from both teams.
Yeah, really good. I quite enjoyed that match, and I hope you all did too. Incredible footage here from Downunder Derby TV. Having just watched some live streams from overseas as well just recently, you could not argue that this is a pretty good quality stream.
Absolutely.
Very well produced. And the commentary team, A++. So Downunder Derby TV, of course, brought to you by Skate Projects, Better Bearings, and your replays, which have been fantastic by Junkyard Jerks, and your event sponsors here, Roller Derby Heaven and Off Your Tree. And CCRDU hosting us here today. But for now, that will be me signing off. Puss puss goodbye. I think Uncle Copter, you're in for another one with JPEBs.
Yeah, so me and Red Hot Chili Pepper will be taking the mic for what I believe will be Rogues versus S2D2's
The Empire.
The Empire, the rematch.
It will be. Only thing being that the Rogues will be far fresher than the Empire, who really did cop a beating by... I shouldn't say beating. It wasn't a rough match by any means, but KCR really putting some points on the board. So the Rogues are a little fresher and lost by 30 points, I think, in the first.
30 points, yeah. So
in the first one. So we'll see how we go. I think we'll be up for a good match.
Yeah, I'm excited, and if you're excited, you should be
tuning in
in about 15 minutes, I imagine.
12 and a half
for the next round of East Coast Invitational Roller Derby on track 1. Hosted here in Gosford by Central Coast Roller Derby United.
That's good night from me, folks.
Puss,
Enjoy the rest
it's always
of your
a pleasure.
Thank you. I'll see you again soon.
See you, folks. See you
Bye-bye.
shortly.